Lying. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. Know what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare to anyone who might care. Thought I could fly, so I stepped off the golden. Nobody cried, nobody even noticed. I saw them standing right there. I kinda thought they might care. I had a dream, I got everything I wanted. But when I wake up I see you with me. And you say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. Don't wanna lie here, but you can learn to. If I could change the way that you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why here they don't deserve you. I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. They called me weak, like I'm not somebody's daughter. It could have been the night, but it felt like they were right there. And it feels like yesterday was a year ago. But I don't wanna let anybody know, 'cause everybody wants something from me now, and I don't wanna let them down. I had a dream, I got everything I wanted. But when I wake up I see you with me. And just say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. Don't wanna lie here, but you can lie too. If I could change the way that you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why here they don't deserve you. As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. Don't wanna lie here, but you can lie too. If I could change the way you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why here they don't deserve you.
How's everybody doing? Where am I at?
Right here.
Can y'all hear us?
Can y'all hear us?
Check.
555.
Here we go. It's for the children, right?
Yes.
So we're not going to allow people to control our energies, right? Based on what we're seeing with our two eyes. We're going to maintain control of our energy and put that into something that's going to be beneficial for ourselves and for others. Right now, you've got a lot of people attacking each other, um, blaming each other, blaming this side, blaming that side. We take responsibility for our side, right? We take responsibility for ourselves, right? And what we do,
And what we say.
operating in peace, love, and light. Don't get it twisted.
Right. Don't get it twisted.
But don't get it twisted. We got the Slapaho tribe on standby all times. How's everybody doing tonight? Update on Mike, and to quell some rumors, to quell or however you say it. ICE did not pick up Mike. He is at home. I repeat, ICE did not pick up Mike. He is at home with his family. Healing, spending some time with his loved ones, etc., etc. Today is 7/10/2025. We are live on the Facebook,
Tomorrow's 7/11.
YouTube. Tomorrow is 7/11. Today's the 17. On a flip that 7/10, 71, 17, 8 and a 9, 17 again. 1 and 7 is 8. Huh? Yeah. It's a 17 either way you look at it. You take the 1 and, or you can take the 10 and the 7, 17.
Drop the 0.
1 and 8, and then you add 1 and 7, that makes 8. You take that 8 and you add it to 2025. 2025 is 9. 9 and 8 is 17. It still brings you back. Anything you add to 9, it equals the number you added. Like,
yeah.
If 7 plus 9, whatever you add up, plus 7 plus 9, it's going to equal the number you added to 9. Always.
So there's a lot of craziness, things coming out. That doesn't mean they're not true. It just means observe it, don't absorb it. Don't get in your feelings. You never met any of these people. You don't know any of these people personally. Even if they are actors now, we know there was a lot of that stuff going on. So for us to heal, the truth has to come out. Regardless if it's fake, real, it doesn't matter. But the world needs to know what's been happening and who was all involved. So, but don't take it out on each other. We're not each other's enemies.
Right.
And I know it can get hard, and you feel frustrated, and there's a lot going on with people emotionally and financially, but you got to keep it together. You got to keep it together.
Yeah. So there's been a split. I think I took a walk with my dog today, one of those long walks. I played some frequency music, and I try to clear all the craziness, right? So that I can open up and receive what it is that I'm missing, or or maybe it'll help me see something more clear once you step out away from all the noise, right? Put down the phone, go for a walk, right? Maybe around your neighborhood. Maybe you go to a track somewhere, or high school, or maybe you have somewhere in your community, or maybe around your yard or your property or whatever. But I'm seeing a split, and what MAGA doesn't know is there is a MIGA, right? There's MIGA and MAGA. Now there's that split. And you're seeing it, like, for instance, let me show you with Let me give you the visual real quick. You have people like Charlie Kirk, a couple of the Mark Levin, Laura Loomer. Who was the other guy, the little youngest Jewish guy that had this real
Shapiro? Ben Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro. That's your MAGA. Your MAGA would be more like your Hodge twins, right?
Yeah.
Different because
they're defending still with evidence, right?
Yeah.
So you know what side's who's on. It really doesn't matter. The truth's coming out anyway. So you can only spin something so long before it becomes undeniable, right? So.
But MAGA is, they want everyone to just forget about what everyone was talking about with Epstein. And MAGA's like, the MAGA crown's like, no, we want it all, right? And this is the conclusion that your MAGA won't come to because they're all AIPAC controlled.
But most of us know who's on the list, right?
Right. So you have the propagandists for Israel revealing their faces because of Epstein, and then you have MAGA, the patriots, right, quote unquote, that they really do want to save the children. They want accountability. They want justice. They want to see some people go to jail. They want to see some trials. They want to see some accountability, and not from immigrants. If you can spend billions upon billions of dollars to go after immigrants, then you should have billions upon billions, if not trillions, to go after pedophiles. But if you can't, if everyone's compromised, blackmailed. So MAGA's waking up to that fact, and they're seeing the split. And what I'm seeing is I'm watching MAGA squirm because they want y'all to be focused on Iran. They want y'all to be focused on Islam, Shahira Law. They want y'all to be focused on immigrants. They want y'all to be focused on Alligator Alcatraz, et cetera, instead of asking for accountability. So we want the 1%ers, not the 99%ers, to be targeted, right? So we want to see some accountability in the 1%, or at least they claim to be that. They're really not that. They're the bottom 1%. And we're the top 99. As soon as we pull our heads out of our behind and wake up and realize our power, and that's what's going on. So we're seeing a split. We're seeing the propagandists for Israel come out and that claim to be MAGA, but they really weren't. They were MAGA. There really is a difference. So saying that MAGA and MAGA kind of takes away from having to talk about religion and all. And I could just say MAGA and MAGA, and we can get an understanding of what that means, right? Then we see Netanyahu with the trying to nominate Trump for the old Nobel Peace Prize after bombing Iran. So it's kind of like a Obama again, although 2.0, it seemed like. But they're all controlled by the AIPAC, their pockets. You seen Ted Cruz talk about the IDF on 4th of July. We showed that, right? So that's all we're seeing. You're just seeing a split, and it's what you want to see. The people are coming out of their slumbers. Sometimes you got to be shaken, right? But we refuse to allow the mainstream media to control the narrative and to take our energy with the lies and the propaganda. So we're going to maintain control of that energy and stay focused on the things that it's going to help the community and help each other, to build you up, not break you down. Some of you might need to be let go of the things you've been holding on to as far as these politicians are concerned, and let that play out. It's like, if you don't do your research, you end up supporting like Adam Schiff and people like Dan Crenshaw and Ted Cruz. And
because if you let go of all that, then the information doesn't hit you hard because you already know. Right.
If you got a dog in the fight, as far as in the politics, which you shouldn't, if you got a dog in the fight, which you shouldn't, your dog in the fight should be what took place the last 4 years, especially 5 years, scandemic, even our whole lives. Our freedoms have been diminished to,
Yeah, that's our fight.
and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and the people are getting louder and louder and louder, and that's exactly what you want to see. But you want to have your wits about you, you be at peace, but in power. Not peace through strength, but peace through knowledge, peace through which is power. And then you can function, then you can move, right? It's no longer an NPC or a shell, like KRS-One said, it's no longer a shell speaking. There's a being in the flesh that's speaking. And then when that speaks, the whole universe responds.
Listens, yes. Your higher self.
But you can't do that if you're being in psychological warfare and you don't even realize it. If you're watching that mainstream media, you're doing yourself a disservice, and us, especially when you try to, when you don't like what you're hearing here, and it counters what you're seeing on the mainstream. There's a reason. The same people that own them mainstream media is the same people that told you them vaccines were totally safe and effective. And now the FDA is approving the shot for kids today. So while this circus is taking place, our kids are sitting there waiting for their parents to wake up, right, to see what's going on. So there's your client list. Sellouts, traitors, treasonous, rat bastards.
Excuse me, ma'am. You've been caught questioning the entire system and yet still somehow choosing compassion. That's a Category 7 awakened heart activation. And I'm going to need you to keep doing that. Louder. You are love. You come from love. Now go shine so bright you short circuit this fear grid. Sir, we've got confirmation that you've discovered the world is run by liars, playing us on all sides. And instead of shutting down, you opened your soul. That's a violation of the emotional compliance mandate, and I'm going to have to congratulate you on it. Your next assignment, speak the truth, touch grass. Remind the others that their soul is older than this matrix. Chief, you've been caught protecting your peace while decoding psychological warfare? Yeah, that's an unauthorized sovereignty violation. And I gotta say, well done. You're now cleared for downloads directly from the source. Use wisely, breathe often.
Get the inner peace police. We're gonna need to see some ID, guys.
No ID in that one. But you're sovereign then.
Tell us who. But you don't need ID, right? You just gotta know who you are.
Right.
Who are you?
Your ID, interdimensional.
I guess I'll just go down from there. We got more people missing here in Texas, of course. The number's increasing. Of course, the official number isn't going to come out via the mainstream media. Everybody's reporting different numbers, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of like the pandemic, after people took the vaccines, so the bioweapons and stuff like that, or even in the hospitals. We got laser weather control. Did I show this yet? Yeah, we got this from. This is for educational purposes right here. Not to put you in fear, just educational. Here we go. Let's look at this real quick. This was from 10 years ago when we were talking about the lasers we seen on the screen the other night, right? How they were picking up on the radar, the beams. But this was 10 years ago. Here we go. Let's see
What if you could fire a laser at the sky and make it rain? Oh, that sounds more interesting. Dave Malkoff explains.
Well, they got to tell you.
Yeah.
Let me put the closed captions on for the hearing impaired.
What if you could fire a laser at the sky and make it rain? Oh, that sounds more interesting. Dave Malkoff explains.
Just another stormy, wet afternoon in Central Florida. But what if you could pick up all this rain and move it where it's needed? Texas or California? What if a laser could start the rain?
So you can almost use it to set it off.
Matt Mills got into lasers as a kid.
It's just innately cool.
Now he's part of a team of scientists and military backers on the cutting edge of a new technology, making lasers powerful enough to reach up here into the sky where a thunderstorm is just about to start. In the near future, a push-button storm starter could be a real thing.
Just imagining this situation. If there was a rain cloud that was going to pass over an area of drought and not rain, you could, theoretically induce the rain and get the rain where it's needed.
That storm starter isn't the laser beam itself, but rather a popping energy that comes off of much higher power beams than this one. The problem is those pops have always had trouble getting into the sky. Now Matt has discovered a way to get the laser to pop all the way in the clouds. In theory, that's what starts a storm. We created a cloud of our own behind Matt's lab. A few months ago, Matt's colleagues in Arizona got this working experimentally. The next step is to get it to work in the sky.
The particles in the air are rubbing together, forming static electricity, and the conditions are now right, and they just need to be triggered now.
Does this concern you that you may be messing with Mother Nature and doing something that you don't completely understand up here in the cloud?
I suppose that's always a danger, but we're not even near to the case where it could be dangerous yet, so not too much.
It's almost like an on-off switch for a thunderstorm.
That's the idea behind it.
Right here in the cloud.
Yep.
In Orlando, Dave Malkoff, the Weather Channel.
Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And it could change a lot of things, like these areas of drought that we're watching in the West, if it actually worked. All right, let's move on to sports.
That was amazing. I saw those lasers at a cabaret in Tampa. It made it rain there too. But this morning, I'm going to start my...
You see how you said, all right, we're off to sports?
Amazing. I saw those lasers at a cabaret.
Like these areas of drought that we're watching in the West, if it actually worked. All right, let's move on to sports.
All right, let's move on to sports. See how they do you? You see that?
Mhm.
Absolutely fascinating. And it could change a lot of things, like these areas of drought that we're watching in the West, if it actually worked. All right, let's move on to sports. Now,
Boom. Well, that's some psychological operation
Yeah.
right there. Ever so subtly. All right, let's move on to sports. And today the Astros beat the Braves 4-2. King Benetti hit 10 home runs in one game, breaking the MLB world record for most home runs in one game.
Right.
It's like, so that was 10 years ago. Right here, you see it right here, 10 years ago. And then they said, yep, lasers start fires too.
Yeah, they do.
Look at Maui in California for starters. You don't think in the 21st century they don't have laser powerful enough to do this? You learn a lot in the chat. And they removed a lot of the bots, it seems, in these comments.
Yeah, they did.
I remember back in the day, it was
It
just
was
some.
bad.
It was
bad.
The people responding were bots added by their station itself to make it seem as if everybody thought that was just
Oh
the
yeah,
most
they did that during
amazing
COVID
thing
too.
ever. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they sent the bots out and everybody was getting their vaccine all of a sudden on online, and now you don't even hear from them no more. It says, yeah, they are spraying metals into the sky, then using the beams. This guy right here said in 1975, the U.S. and the USSR signed a weather war treaty agreeing not to wage a weather war against each other. That was not a conspiracy, and that was a half a century ago. Slowly tell you they control the weather. They slowly tell you they control the weather. See that?
Yeah. Well, they're saying right now that it's if you try to look it up, it will fact check you and say no, the radars do not manipulate the weather. They'll have all that information, but we have other documentation that says otherwise.
Right.
Many people do.
Yes, sir. I'm a firm believer now.
Yeah.
Note the date stamp on this video was 10 years ago. This was 8 months ago. He said this.
Right. So what do you think?
So here,
more enhanced now.
Remember they said the goal was 2025.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we're seeing it. There hasn't been a natural storm in forever, years, decades.
No.
You remember that one video?
We had some rain just the other night.
Where's that one
rained
guy?
real hard for like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was raining hard and lightning, and then it just all stopped.
Yeah. Where's the guy that was talking about the storm?
Let me find it.
Yeah, you remember what I was talking about? The same guy that said about the restaurant?
Yeah. Go ahead and I'll find it.
All right, it should be up here, but maybe not. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Go ahead.
Hold on, let me see if I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. Oh, here it is. I got
Found
it.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna watch this clip right here. Here's somebody actually reflecting on back, as a child when the storms were, I guess we thought were normal.
Yeah.
But now we're in some kind of new normal phase where even the youth don't even know what that is anymore. So we're the bridge from what it used to be to what we're seeing today. And so we have to wake up and remember and see what's been taking place.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Eek Acres. Boy, we topped out today at about 92 degrees. And I decided not to mow for two reasons. So it's just too hot to run the tractor because I fixed it. I got the new part in the mail and I put the new regulator on it. And I started it up and it runs like a top. So that's all fixed. And I also ran a new ground. But not only was it because it was too hot, but also because we had about a 90% chance of thunderstorms with flooding potential. And here it is going on 7 o'clock p.m. and it only sprinkled today. But what I wanted to mention in this video today, you guys, is that I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day, this is going back decades, when thunderstorms would happen when I was a kid, you'd get a thunderstorm that would come and you'd hear the thunder in the distance and the sky would turn black. And I'm not talking about a severe thunderstorm. I'm just talking about just a normal thunderstorm. The sky would get dark and you'd hear the thunder in the distance. And that was your cue to get your bike in the garage or pick up your toys or whatever and make a beeline for the house because it was going to storm. I remember in those days, you guys, the thunderstorms were something else. The thunder was very deep and rumbling, and it would shake and vibrate the house, and even make dishes rattle in the cupboard. And the lightning was pretty sharp, very bright, like pinkish white lightning, just bolts of lightning. And you'd be like, wow, man, I'm glad I'm not outside in that. And it would last anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes or longer, where you'd have a thunderstorm. I remember growing up as a kid and even well into my teen years where a thunderstorm would hit in the night and you could listen to it raining out. Just a normal, gentle rain where it would just rain for hours and it would thunder and lightning. You'd see a flash of lightning out your bedroom window and it would lull you to sleep at night. And sometimes storms like that would last all night long, thunderstorm after thunderstorm. Now, when you get a thunderstorm these days, it lasts maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The sky gets a little bit dark. You hear a couple claps of thunder, and it's all over with. You might get a heavy downpour that will last 5 minutes. and then it's gone, and then the sun comes out and everything gets bone dry again. And in the spring this year, we had nothing but torrential downpours, 2 inches of rain per hour. And that's what would cause the 2-track down here to flood, because the pipe that runs underneath the driveway there can't handle the volume of water that was coming down off the hill out of the woods. It was too much for it. But there was never any warning on that rain. They didn't say that there was going to be a chance of that happening or any flood advisories or flood warning for the area. They wouldn't issue it until the rains were happening for hours and hours, and then they would issue a flood watch or a flood warning. But the storms today only last anywhere, and this is no joke or exaggeration, you guys, they last anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And that's it. I cannot remember when we had an old-fashioned traditional thunderstorm like it was when I was growing up as a kid, or even through my teen years, of when a storm would hit and last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And it would lightning and thunder, and then it would pass, and as it passed, you could hear the thunder fading in the distance, getting further and further away. Now when it does it for only 5 minutes, it thunders maybe 2-3 times, and that's it. You don't hear any more as the storm goes away from you. You don't hear the thunder going off in the distance as the storm is moving away. It's so strange how the weather today is nothing like I remember it being. I don't even know when we've gotten a real good thunderstorm last. Not a violent one, not a severe thunderstorm, just a good old-fashioned thunderstorm. I can't remember whenever we've had one that have lasted like they did when I was a kid growing up. They rarely even talk about thunderstorms anymore. They just give rain chances now. They don't even hardly talk about thunderstorms. And I remember as a kid when the days would get in the upper 80s, low 90s, that daytime heating would cause thunderstorms. The clouds would build and get really high in the sky. You could lay on your back on the lawn and watch those clouds just roll and build and roll and build. And then you get a thunderstorm later in the day. And it'd be the kind that I was telling you about in this video. Now the daytime heating doesn't even cause any storms. It's just hot and dry and nothing happens, even when they say it's going to. But it's been years and years since I heard a good old thunderstorm where it would last in the night and you could fall asleep to the thunder, you could fall asleep to the pouring rain. We don't even have rain that is even normal anymore these days, where you get just like a steady rain all day long. Not, an inch or two per hour, not a heavy downpour, just general rainfall, where it would like rain all day like that, or all night like that, where you could leave the window open a little bit with the screen and just listen to the falling rain. Now today you don't get weather like that anymore. I don't know what the hell's changed, you guys, but man, nothing's like it used to be. And whenever I check the radar, like when I get ready to mow this place, and I go look at the radar, I downsize the map so I can see all of the United States. And when I advance the bar, just to advance the radar, everything that blows up in our area blows up simultaneously in other areas all over the United States. So if I see a cell that's growing in New York as I'm advancing the bar back and forth where I can make it shrink or make it blow up, it's doing the same exact thing down in Texas. And then there's another one in South Dakota, and it's doing the same thing. And maybe one on the western side of Michigan, and then one maybe down in Tennessee. And as I move the bar back and forth, they all expand or shrink at the same time. No matter how I move the bar, they all blow up at exactly the same time. And I told Bridget, I says, how is that even possible when all states have different temperatures, different weather, different wind patterns, a different
Microsoft
jet stream? I don't understand that, you guys. I mean, granted, I'm not a meteorologist, but it tells my common sense mind that there's something not right about that. Not every storm, wherever they may be, dotted throughout the United States, should all expand and grow like that simultaneously at exactly the same time. And if you don't believe me, go on your local radar and do it. Go look at the different storms that are wherever they may be at any given time in the United States, and even the cells that are out over the water, like the Atlantic or the Pacific, or even down in the Gulf. And you advance that bar for like an hour in advance or 2 hour advance, and they all blow up at exactly the same time. I don't know, you guys. This world's so screwed up we live in anymore. Just very bizarre. And I know one thing. not only has a lot of things changed since I had my surgery to where I can't seem to get used to it, but I had to break down and buy a air conditioning unit because since I had that surgery now, I can't take the heat like I used to. I used to landscape and work out in this heat, and it never bothered me. Now I can't take it when it gets in the 90s. And never have you guys ever heard me complain about the heat because I've always loved the heat. But now, like a lot of other things, I can't deal with it. And it's not just getting older. I mean, this happened, this year after having that surgery done to where I just can't take the heat. It makes me sick because I feel sick off and on every day. And the heat just makes it worse. So I bought an air conditioner and it works beautifully. So now if I get hot mowing, I can go inside and cool off and try to feel better. But let me know down below, you guys, if you remember what I was talking about in this video. Do you remember when thunderstorms used to be thunderstorms? When you used to get just like a gentle garden rain all day long or all night long, and then the following morning the sun come out and you'd have a nice day again? Now it seems like storms are either they're a disaster or they're non-existent. It goes from one extreme to the next, like with what's going on down in Texas and what happened out in the state of Nevada with that giant dust storm with over 80-mile-an-hour winds. And that wasn't even forecasted. And the residents there said it just blew up out of nowhere. Same thing happened in Minnesota. And the same thing on that during that same week, during this holiday past week, same thing happened in eastern New York and New Jersey. Toppled trees and telephone poles and everything. But the good old-fashioned non-violent thunderstorms that used to last and just regular normal rainfall, I can't tell you guys when the last time that's ever happened. At least around here. You just don't see it happen anymore. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below and let me know what you remember. Thanks for watching. We'll see.
Let us know in the chat what you remember.
I don't remember
Raindrops.
Because I grew up, I lived in Texas. I lived in Utah too, but I don't remember it being this hot. I guess when you're little, maybe you don't notice that kind of stuff, but it seems to be hotter and hotter every year to me. Don't you think? It's really hot this month.
Well, it's the humidity. It feels like you're in a dome.
Yeah.
It feels like they got a dome trapped over you and they got the heat just instead of the jet stream pulling the air to like float with the wind, the cold breeze. It's just hardly any wind with high humidity.
Right. We don't.
And if you look at the map, the whole damn United States is spread.
We don't hardly have nice breezes anymore.
No.
At all.
Right.
It's like dead still air.
Right. And then they keep it like that, and then they come in with the cool air and they cause a disturbance.
Yes.
And then with the water, hurricane season coming up, they're like football season, baseball season. They turned it into like a sporting event. You got Hurricane Karen on the list.
Yeah, she said she remembers she could smell the rain before. Yeah, you used to
Oh,
smell
yeah.
it, huh?
Yeah, it's
And
like
smelled
electric.
fresh, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I catch that same smell in the woods, some kind of smell like that coming through the air. It says right here, how about all the videos lately where during bad storms you keep seeing those green lasers streak across the sky? And I can show y'all videos of that. If you go to Michael Morales' channel on YouTube, he has like years upon years upon years of catching all that. He can show you where every little spot is as well.
Oh yeah, he would find all that bunker fuels and all
The bunker
sorts of
fuels
stuff.
coming from the ships
Yeah.
causes issues. So, or whenever you see a huge bolt of lightning, it's a millisecond after a green laser. They've already admitted to using lightning to create an ion channel. So lightning has almost no resistance. They can literally make lightning strike with pinpoint accuracy. And fires too. Lasers are so useful. Those Texas snow and ice storms that shut down the state were really something, weren't they? Yep. All right. This is what they used to direct Dorian to make it hit in the Bahamas, 30 hours. That was 5 years ago. That comment was this one right here. Just for
Yeah.
5 years ago, Hurricane
Mhm.
Dorian. This is what they used to direct Hurricane Dorian to make
Well,
it
think about Haiti.
sit in the Bahamas for 30 hours.
You don't think they directed that hurricane Haiti, huh?
Oh,
They
yeah.
hit Haiti,
Helena,
Louisiana. Yeah.
Katrina, all of it. And then while they're doing it, they do operations. They go pretty much martial law. So then all of a sudden we got Hurricane Helena as a Cat 4 hitting Florida, and lasers happen to be caught on radar too. This was 9 months ago. I don't know if y'all can see mine.
What are you trying to do? Yeah, you can.
All right. When it's public news, it's considered old tech. I'm sure this has been there for years. Yeah. The Lahaina and 5 other Maui fires make much more sense now.
Yep.
Yeah. Now it makes sense. How did they know a hurricane was forming in the Gulf of Mexico a week and a half before any system developed? Yeah. I mean, even the storm chasers know where the tornadoes are going to be.
Right. And I haven't seen them out lately. That's kind of unusual, right?
Hundreds of people saw lasers starting fires in California and in Montana on live satellite feeds before whoever was doing it realized it was visible as a heat source because it was energy. And they took down the feeds, edited them so that we were being told that there were no information for that day. And then when it came back, they had colored the red of the energy beams to black, but you could still see them. And they also are leaving it in place long enough. It's leaving behind a heat signature where there is no fire near an earthquake that happened in a diverse place in the States and worldwide. It says, but these fires in the United States are not wildfires, and the hurricanes are not natural either.
No.
This was 4 years ago. This is horrible, and I am so furious living on the West Coast for what they have done. Wait till she finds out what they did in L.A. What they have done to our state and to other states in this country, whoever they are, and I believe it's the globalists, because they're trying to push climate change as an excuse for a rolling lockdown. Just watch. They're going to put us on lockdown again and say it's for the climate. They already exist. Oh, but it's just a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah, they destroyed the earth, not us, right?
Yeah. So this is looking in the past, people speaking from the past. This is why it's good to leave comments. You can go back. It's like a record. Kind of reminds you of what people were thinking, and then people also come back later and add to the conversation. As you can see, over 10 years, conversation. People have been talking for 10 years in this chat, this little comment section, just on the YouTube. And this person said 9 months ago, Ashland, here because of Hurricane Helena. Something about it just did not sit right with me. There's so much going on, and we've only been focused on the hurricane. All right, they tell us what they are doing, just not all of it. Just like I said, that's why you've seen that clip. They said 9 years later in the laser burn Maui.
Milton.
The lasers come from the aircraft. 1 year ago, hence the Category 4 Hurricane Beryl occurring so unusually early in the season, passing not over the entire island, but the southern portion where I live. How convenient. The probability of that is so rare. It's unnatural. Direct energy weapons. Did anybody see the direct path of the laser sharp axes in Lahaina? Blue was the color of the day, right? And then somebody said, don't ever mess with God's atmosphere again.
Right. He had it in sync, right? Perfect. And then we go messing with it.
9 months ago, we can see y'all doing this on the composite NextRad feeds. So many laser bursts and microwave pulses synchronized across the country. And you fire up all those microwave towers and high ionosphere heaters. We have heat waves. That's where they're at right now. That's why you're seeing it. That's why it's so hot, right? People can't stand to be outside because they're being microwaved. That's why they said dizziness. You'll be dizziness and you'll feel sick. Kind of like microwave. So here you got it right here.
That's
9 months ago.
Heat waves, right?
Yeah. And it's funny how they turned it up. I mean, of course, it's summer solstice. I mean, we're in the summer months, right? But it's not the normal summer months, is it?
No.
How it used to be. That's the whole point of becoming aware of the change that took place ever so subtly. And now we're seeing them coming on TV and bragging about it. Everyone's just so excited about playing God and making it rain on the crops.
Yeah.
Well, if it to stay on the damn crops, it'd be one thing. But when you start destroying towns and start building smart cities, that's another thing. That's a crime. It's no longer helping humanity when you're okay with the cost of the loss of children, men, women, and children to save what? To have a radar to save lives and give them an advance notice that a storm's coming. Well, the Indians, Native Americans, our ancestors could go outside and tell you. The birds could tell you 4 days in advance.
Yep, that's right. They knew. They knew where to go.
So if the birds could tell you 4 days in advance, hell, they even tell you. Even though with nature, we now we're dependent on radars from compromised mainstream media platforms. Even the weatherman's full of shit. Are you telling me that all these millions of people are sitting here calling all this shit out, but yet it ain't made mainstream media yet? The weatherman hadn't said, "Wow, look at that! What? There's a laser." Not one time. I mean,
they just read the script. It's like a script. It's already pre-produced. They're showing it. He's just reading what they're showing him right then. That's it.
Because they're getting the feed from the NextRad and the NextRad. But you're educated, right? Just same thing with COVID, right? The doctors and the nurses, y'all are educated. Everyone's educated, right? You know to look at, before you administer a vaccine, what to look at. But anyways, talk about the weather. Same thing with the weatherman. But the people are calling it out. And even people are waking up and remembering how it used to be and what they're seeing today. And that's what I'm talking about as far as the bridge, because it's the older generation that can remember the past, that can help, and then that can wake up and see what's taking place around them. We have a tornado every week, coming right up whenever the hell they want one, it seems like.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
Every day, there's tornadoes constantly.
Yeah,
I thought it was a solar storm, but it's not a solar storm, and it's more.
The natives say they never saw tornadoes, so that's another thing that's probably engineered as well.
So when you understand how vibration and frequencies and acoustics and everything, all that works, and how that can manipulate the weather and create when you see the tornadoes, that's two energies just dancing, like coming down and coming up, and then it causes it meets in the middle and causes a vacuum, tearing everything up, right? So they understand the energy and how it works in the atmosphere and how to manipulate it to cause damage. Because they profit either way. They own even Home Depot and Lowe's, so when you rebuild, they get money there too.
Oh yeah, lots of money.
So that's the weather. Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely, there's lasers in Florida. I wonder if they ever get this thing scaled up and working. This was 8 months ago. Yeah, of course they did. Let's see. Dr. Evil has many faces. You can use lasers now for missile defense. Latest article says each shot only costs 30 cents. What the hell? Yeah.
Someone's asking about the stimulus. The stimulus was talked about. It has not even a bill wrote up to it. It still has to go through Congress, and even if it was, it wouldn't probably go until 2026. And it's only for people that pay their taxes. So I don't think too many other people are paying their taxes right now.
All right, so we did that. I'm going to go into scroll down. That next video you wanted me to play. Sounds like thunder outside right now.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
Which one is it? It's right up here.
How exactly did bureaucracy insert itself into all of our lives globally as a necessary inconvenience? You're lucky. I'll break it down for you plain and simple. Share this video, folks. Bureaucracy is not just inefficient. It's the architecture of fraud legitimizing itself. And here's what that means in great detail. Bureaucracy creates layers to dissolve accountability. In the real world, in the living systems of our planet, feedback is immediate. So if you harm the soil, the plants stop growing. And if you overhunt, the animals vanish. Consequence is direct. But bureaucracy builds layers, departments, protocols, roles, titles, so no one is directly responsible for anything. It fragments the chain of consequence. So you can burn a forest, poison a watershed, or evict a village in a foreign country, and everyone involved gets to say, I was just doing my job. No, that's how fraud becomes untraceable. It doesn't hide, it splits itself into harmless pieces. Translate that harm into procedure. So what would be called destruction in plain speech gets rebranded as policy implementation, resource allocation, or compliance. Logging becomes forest health treatment. Poison becomes integrated pest management. Theft becomes land acquisition. The language of fraud becomes the law of the land. Not through violence, but vocabulary. So if you want to steal something big, first thing, form that makes it work. It manufactures legitimacy through process, not truth. Bureaucracy doesn't ask, is this right? It asks, is the form submitted correctly? This is critical. The morality of an action is replaced with legitimacy of its procedure. You don't need justice, you just need permit. You don't need stewardship, you just need a signal. By outsourcing truth to process, it replaces integrity with permission. That's how genocide becomes legal. That's how glyphosate ends up labeled safe. That's how treaties are broken. The stroke of a pen, but no blood on the floor. It outsources responsibility to the collective while centralizing power. And everyone is involved through taxes, representation, votes, but no one is in control. Meanwhile, power is concentrated in invisible nodes, boards, commissions, agencies who are unelected, unreachable, and insulated from consequence. You get the illusion of participation. They get the infrastructure of dominion. It's the perfect con. Consent without control. It justifies itself by solving problems it created. This is the finale. Bureaucracy creates disaster and expands its reach to manage that disaster. It subsidizes the industry that poisons the land, then it funds the studies, writes the reports, then hires the rangers to monitor the damage. Then it raises your taxes to fund the next round of paperwork. It's a snake eating its own tail, recharging you for the meal. Every act of bureaucratic protection is a reenactment of the original wound with a thicker binder. Bureaucracy is fraud with a name tag. It's theft in slow motion, wrapped in procedure, signed in triplicate, and paid with your obedience. It doesn't serve the people, it doesn't protect the land. It exists to legalize the plunder and anesthetize witness.
That's kind of low volume, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really low volume. Can you break this guy back up? Inner Peace Police, show her back up, guys. Need to see them ID. What do you want me to do next on here? Is there anything? Okay, let's do this down here. This is no, you will not be mandating anything for us. You seem confused about our relationship. You work for us, regardless of your office, or our office is higher. You're our servant. Collectively, we are your sovereign. We will not be talked down to or forced to do anything against our will. You did that crime once, but never again. As our employee, you better know your place. Get it straight, or get prison time.
We the people.
You're gonna be singing them Elvis Presley song, Jailbreak. This is coming from somebody. I reported this. It says, we have all been put through the biggest mind fuck in history. It's been extremely hard, but we've been given the gift of sight, which brought the gift of truth. We would never have known about the horrible, evil things taking place to these children, being trafficked and even worse, and even our own children. We wouldn't have been able to act in any other way. We've learned how to protect our children and hopefully help others protect theirs as well. We created the revolution. We now need to finish. Justice is owed for all of the children. That includes the child within us. We can never let this evil happen again. Don't you dare give up now. Sending big hugs, love, and prayers for strength for everyone. Right? That's from Nancy Drew. Let's put this on that right here. What is this? Look at this sinkhole. What is that? Oh, sinkhole spots. Right in here, Florida. What's this map about?
She was just showing you.
Okay. What's that? At the bottom.
Going up, it is relentless. And now we're beginning to see the impact in the real world. This is Mount Kilimanjaro more than 30 years ago and more recently. And a friend of mine just came back from Kilimanjaro with a picture he took.
I'm supposed to read it first. Sorry, guys. A good part of the reason why weather modification is so prominent now is to get everyone on board with the climate change agenda. And here we go. Remember Al Gore? Remember this? Back in 2007.
It is relentless. And now we're beginning to see the impact in the real world. This is Mount Kilimanjaro more than 30 years ago and more recently. And a friend of mine just came back from Kilimanjaro with a picture he took a couple months ago. Another friend, Lonnie Thompson, studies glaciers. Here's Lonnie with a last sliver of one of the once mighty glaciers. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro.
My goal's full of shit. Man, that time travel is something else, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But back in 2007, that was scary, wasn't it?
They've been saying that forever. I mean, Elon even said we're going to probably have to go to Mars because the planet's not going to last. Right? The planet is never going to go anywhere.
Right.
We might, but Mother Earth won't. It's been here for a million, who knows how long.
It's going to take.
Long time.
So it's going to take some of y'all a minute to figure this one out. Kind of like it did me. I love you. You ever talk on the phone to yourself over there with the when you had the cups or the
Oh yeah.
you never did
the
a hose
tin
thing? You
cans.
never held the hose and talked in it
Yeah,
and put that to your ear?
we did.
Did
We
you?
were little, yeah.
So the ego gets what it wants with words. The soul finds what it needs in silence.
Your buried body.
Oh, that's a little. So electromagnetic and magnetic, magnoelectric. Torus field is like an apple. Atoms. Got a thunderstorm brewing right now above us, so hopefully we can maintain internet. Here, what gives energy and what drains energy, right? What gives energy is learning new wisdom, new spiritual wisdom, prayer, meditation, nature, sunlight, gratitude, higher vibrational connections, blissful rest, healthy food. What drains it? Fear, number one, right?
Yes.
Excessive screen time, alcohol. When you're overwhelmed, that's another thing with the media, keeps you overwhelmed, trying to keep up with the latest events, right? What happened today?
Oh yeah, constantly. You never hear them say good news.
Negative self-talk, lack of sleep, overworking, drains energy, financial noise, and social conflicts. Yeah, you sent me that one. Just don't chase butterflies, grow a garden. So second, scroll down. So the wisdom of letting go, be like a tree, and let the old leaves fall. In their fading, find wisdom for us all. To cling too tightly brings sorrow and pain, but in letting go, there's so much to gain. The past may weigh heavy, but it's not ours to keep. Release it gently, and your soul will sleep deep. Like branches stretching toward the sky, we grow when we're unafraid to say goodbye. For every leaf that drops, new buds appear. Change is a cycle we needn't fear. In shedding the weight of what's no longer true, we make space for the light, for growth that's new. Let go of regret, let go of fear. In every ending fresh, beginnings are near. Like the tree in the winter, stripped bare and cold, Know that in time, new stories unfold. In life, we learn not all can remain, but through each loss, we break free from the chain. The winds may blow, the storms may roar, yet by letting go, we stand even more. Hold on to hope, not the things that must fade. In this lesson, the path of peace is laid. For the leaves that drop will nourish the ground, and in their falling, true strength is found. True strength lies not in holding on, but in knowing when to let go. Life's beauty is found in accepting change and embracing growth and trusting that what's meant for you will find its way. The author of that is Miriam. Miriam wanted to share that. It says, one day you will look back on this time and you will see this magic. This is magic. You won't remember how stuck you felt or how far behind you thought you were or what you wished you had done differently. All you will see that within your uncertainty was also your potential, and within your lostness was also an opportunity to be found, and within your discomfort was also a chance to see what you needed to change. And changing, it was you becoming the person you were always meant to be. If there is one single thought that can comfort you in the darkest, quietest nights, let it be this one day. You will look back on this time and you will see, and all you will see is magic. So I flip that. So the world is shifting, and everything that's in it that is not in alignment with truth, integrity, and higher consciousness is being dismantled. This is not random. It's an initiation process. We're all getting initiated. Once upon a time, a little soul said to God, I know who I am. And God said, well, this is wonderful. Who are you? And the little soul cried out, I am the light. God smiled broadly and said, right, you are the light. The little spirit was happy to find out that the matter which every soul's in the kingdom should be aware of. Hooray, she was rejoicing. This is beautiful. But the fact that she knew who she was soon not enough for her. Little soul felt a strange urge and wanted to be who she is. And so a little soul returned to God, which is not a bad idea for all souls if they want to be what they really are. And she said, hello, God. Now that I know who I am, can I be one too? And God said, do you mean you want to be what you already are? You know, replied the little soul, it's one thing to know who I am, and something completely different is to be it too. I want to know what it feels like to be a light. But you're already the light, God repeated and smiled again. Yes, but I want to know how it is, cried the little soul. Ah, said God, who couldn't resist laughter. I shouldn't have known this. I should have known this. You've always loved an adventure. Then God stopped from smiling. But there is one thing here. Which one? Asked the little soul. There is nothing else but light. You know, I didn't create anything you weren't. And so it will not be easy for you to experience yourself as you really are. But there is nothing you are not. How to do that, said the little soul, who was confused a bit. Look at it this way, said God. You're like a candle in the sun, and you're in the right place together with millions of billions of other candles. You create the sun. Without you, the sun wouldn't be the sun. If only it were without one of its candles. There would be no sun at all, because it wouldn't shine so brightly. Therefore, the question is, to recognize yourself as the light when you are surrounded by light. Said the little soul, lifted her head. You are God. Figure something out. God has smiled again. I've already made that up because you cannot recognize yourself when you are in the light. I will surround you with the darkness. What is darkness? Asked the little soul. And God answered her, well, that is what you are not. Will I be afraid of the dark? Cried the little soul. Only if you choose to, God replied. There is really nothing to fear unless you decide to be the other way around. There you go.
That was beautiful. I like that.
So what's most needed now is consistency, not performance, just presence. Soft but sovereign. And you are the frequency holder. You are the new paradigm. You can take the reins off.
See, if you don't control your mind, someone else will. You see, she didn't even put anything on. He thought she did.
Don't let them control y'all like that. Come on now. You want to see that again? Up. Tighten it up. All right, I'll move on. So the energy is firm. There is a demand for alignment to become demonstrated. This isn't about rest or reflection. It's about internal order. The upgrades you've moved through are now being embedded into your system, and anything integrated will show as an irritability, fatigue, or mental pressure. You may feel called to restructure how you spend time, where your energy leaks, or how you communicate, respond with precision. This is not a waiting space. It's a locking in. Don't slip back into distraction. What stabilizes now becomes the foundation for what comes next. We got map of consciousness. Down here, we got survival mode, lower chakra, right red. Shame, guilt, empathy, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, all down here.
Yeah, that's
Survival paradigm. And you go into courage, neutrality, like we were talking about, willingness, acceptance, reason.
See, they want us to stay down here.
We won't be down here in fear. This is what the mainstream pretty much aims at right here.
Anger, grief,
This
guilt,
is their target.
shame,
Hate, craving, anxiety, regret, despair, blame game, guilt. If you're blaming somebody else, you're just guilty. I guess evil, addictive, destruction. Shame is humiliation, miserable, despising, elimination. Apathy, despair, hopeless. If you're feeling hopeless, condemning others, abdication. You got grief, regret. I regret this, doing that. Tragic, disdainful.
responses.
Fear, got anxiety, frightening, punitive, withdrawal. Desire, craving, disappointing, denying, and enslavement. A lot of people are in denial, enslaved. Anger, hate, antagonistic, vengeful, aggression. What's going to get a lot of people in trouble? Pride, scorn, demanding, indifferent, inflation. So courage, you got affirmations, feasible, permitting, empowerment. What's where we're at? Gotta become the lion, get your heart. You didn't have the courage.
That's right.
Neutrality. You trust, satisfactory, enabling, release. So your consciousness is enslaved down here.
Yes.
As you come up.
Willingness.
Optimism. You're hopeful, inspiring, intentions. Acceptance. Forgiveness is the most important part. Harmonious, merciful, and transcendence. You get in there. Reason, understanding, meaningful, wise, abstraction. Going up into the chakras. Love, reverence. 9, loving, and revelation. Get the revelation. Yeah, now transfiguration on the mountain right here, right? When he climbs up to the mountain, gets the transfiguration taking place. Remember they seen 3 people?
Yes.
Him plus 2 others. Peace, bliss, perfect, all being, illumination. And enlightenment, enfeeble, is self for consciousness. Right?
That's the highest one, the energetic.
That's the process.
700 to 1,000.
God view, self.
So we want to be up there. We want to be, well, right now we're in between reason and integrity.
Right.
And spiritual paradigm. But we need to get past this to get to the spiritual.
So your view of life really reflects on how you fall on this map. Your view of life, you go from is, perfect, complete, 9, meaningful, harmonious, hopeful, satisfactory, feasible. Then you get down to demanding, disappointing, frightening, tragic, hopeless, evil, and miserable. You want to come up here, climb the ladder.
See, they've been doing a lot of disappointing stuff, right? You get your hopes up and then you get let down. It's done on purpose. Don't focus on any of that stuff they've been saying for over the years of any day now. This, and it's going to be here. Just when it comes, if something comes, it comes. Don't focus on that. Because then that brings you disappointment and then you feel hopeless, right?
And God said, vengeance will be his, right?
And you're in
anger and hate. Yeah. They're pushing you to be vengeful and aggression. And he says, vengeance will be mine. Saith the Lord, right?
That's right.
This is the process. All right. We're empowerment and releasing right now. Some of intention. Right around in here. We're trying to empower. Get the courage is where we're at. Is where I've been trying to do. Get the courage. The affirmation, permitting. God view, permitting. Empowerment. There we go. So you get to choose what you become. You are not your pain, not your past, not the people who couldn't love you right. You're not what you decided to create from it all. The habits, the fears, the walls, they came from somewhere. And while they once protected you, they don't have to define you. It's okay to unlearn. It's okay to question. And it's okay to grow. You're allowed to rewrite the story, right? So we've got to come out of the loop, stop making the same mistakes that these politicians keep doing year after year after year after year. Just because life handed you broken pieces doesn't mean you can't build something sacred. Take the pain, take the lessons, take the mess, the beauty, the realness, and turn it into wisdom, purpose, and power. Your past shaped you, but it's you who decides what comes next. This isn't the end. This is the becoming. And they say some people are supposed to show 144,000. Look how gold the sky is out there. So now I look outside the window and the skies are gold, and it just rained for like about 2 or 3 minutes and a little bit of thunder, and now the skies are gold. So trust the process, trust yourself, and move forward boldly. Your future isn't limited by your past, it's shaped by your willingness to begin again. You want me to show that? Is this him?
So these are my big issues regarding vaccines, and these are the things that I'd like to highlight.
Let me read this first. This is a doctor. He's going to break down as he apologizes for the vaccine ignorance. He said, I failed to give informed consent. Dr. Daniel Knighties delivered an emotional apology to his former patients, admitting he had not fully understood or communicated the risk and details surrounding the vaccines during his medical career. There's no education in medical schools that I'm aware of around vaccines, their contents, safety records, informed consent, or the vaccine injury compensation program, he said through tears. Reflecting on his training, he added, what are we taught about vaccines? We are taught to memorize the vaccine schedule. Dr. Nades also pointed out to the nearly $4 billion paid out to the vaccine injured individuals since 1992, a fact he says not most providers, including himself, never discussed. I was one of those providers who didn't give safety sheets before vaccinating, he added. Absolutely deplorable on my part, and I apologize to my patients.
The highlight. Number one, there is no education in medical schools that I am aware of. And being an educator at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner College of Medicine and Case Western Reserve University, I am not aware of education around vaccines, their contents, safety records, informed consent, or the vaccine injury compensation program. We do not discuss that in 1986, Congress enacted legislation removing all liability from pharma related to vaccine adverse events. What are we taught about vaccines? We are taught to memorize the vaccine schedule. And actually, I'm going to be sitting for my family medicine boards this year, and I am sure that I will have to memorize that schedule again in order to pass that exam. We don't discuss that almost $4 billion with a B has been paid to vaccine injured patients since 1992. For medical professionals, we expect fair balance, but vaccines seem to be absolved from that consideration. Number two, there appears to be a conflict of interest regarding payments to providers for completing vaccine schedules. Now, corollary to that, which would be number three, patients are being dismissed from practices because of quote unquote vaccine safety concerns. If you bring up a question about a vaccine and you decide not to vaccinate your child, you may be at risk of being terminated from that practice. Absolutely deplorable and disgusting. Number four, and again to the Bailey family, I'm really sorry, but employers are forcing employees to receive the flu vaccine or face corrective action or job loss. And the fact that your dad was 6 months from retiring is... Number five, there's a lack of informed consent. And I was one of those providers who didn't provide safety sheets before vaccinating. I would tell the parents, these are the vaccines today. We're going to give you 3 vaccines in one leg and 2 in the other. And then after vaccinating either the child or the adult patient, here's your information sheet. And again, to be completely transparent with you, I had no idea that there was even a mention of the compensation program or a telephone number to call. Absolutely deplorable on my part, and I apologize to my patients. Number 6, there's a lack of transparency regarding vaccine complications. And worse, you're being shamed as patients for suggesting that you were harmed by a vaccine. If I see a patient in the office and diagnose strep throat, and You give them penicillin. And either the mom or the patient themselves calls and tells me that they developed a rash. There is zero question. The chart now states they have an allergy to penicillin and will never be given it again. Why don't we believe parents and patients when they tell us they have had an adverse event regarding a vaccine? It doesn't make sense to me as a medical professional. I apologize for the being emotional.
Is that it? And here we are. We got the FDA. Like I said, beginning of the show, is approved the vaccines for children, right? The COVID vaccines.
Still, I mean, a lot of the doctors have woken up, nurses too. So, they have to have someone administer them, right? Maybe they'll just all refuse to play their game too. I mean, they have a lot to lose, but
yeah,
sometimes you have to make that decision.
You're going to lose more if you just hold the line
That's
of
right.
silence.
That's right.
You're going to lose it all. At least save yourself. All right.
Definitely. Yeah, you might have to pay for that.
What's this?
Oh, that one's good.
Oh, you want to read that? So public awareness of radium grew immensely in the 1920s. The use of radium healing devices in all forms, including emanators for infusing purified drinking water with colloidal radium and radium gas above, was banned in the U.S. in the early 1930s. Enforcement of strict medical standards was orchestrated by the Rockefeller pharmaceutical industry, monopoly of U.S. government policy. When asked during a health reading if salt water was beneficial, Edgar Casey answered that the sand that carries gold and radium and salt was most beneficial. Casey often recommended the drinking of radium-infused water, as well as application of a healing pad called the radium appliance to specific areas of the body for enhancing the circulatory system, cleansing the blood, and restoring balance to various organs. Human resonance.
See why they demonize radium so much? Remember that professor? He showed he ate it. It's safe. But it can heal you and heal the blood.
Here's the old container.
They banned it.
I guess this is what you said on.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. Radium on a healing pad. Yeah, it's a healing pad.
Would not intentionally spray my children.
Oh, that one's talking about the people that spray don't have any children.
Beads that we put on these rings.
Yeah.
Would not intentionally spray my children or family with toxic aerosols, but as you must know, 80% or better do not have any family or children. Indigo pilots are chosen from the top ranks within the Air Force, Navy, and Coast Guard. Most of the pilots are, quote, hardened to humanity, unquote, and could care less about killing off unwanted or leeching aspects of America and the world. I swear to you, the majority of the pilots are like machines. I call them tanker terminators. We are paid more than any other pilot for our service, other than Air Force One pilots who make as much or more and are kept in a dark secret world for their own protection.
Up to 92 0. Yep, 1692 up, 56 speed. 52 mark, very good.
We see the circle. One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home.
was a conspiracy, it says. Yeah, they're called indigo pilots. Interesting, huh?
Oh, yeah. This is Walter Russell, ain't it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff right here. Let's talk about. Here we go. So, remember, man already has God's omnipresence for his every thought and action extended to the furthest most star, and in himself. Right. What's this right there?
Light is the one thing that constitutes compassion. Consummate, eliminate such as the Krishna of the Bhagavad Gita. Jesus, Buddha have told us that God is light.
Inhale, exhale. This is red and blue. Red and blue, cold and hot. Inhale, exhale.
One generates energy, the other radiates.
That's the motion. Inhale, exhale. Sound waves. It's the path. 4 points. DNA, strand, Jacob's ladder.
Every action must be preceded and followed by its own equal opposite reaction. That's the second one. Every action-reaction of wave motion is voided as it occurs, is repeated as it is voided, and is recorded as it is repeated.
It's the pendulum.
Yeah.
When I say the pendulum, when it shows Mary, her head and her two hands are over here, another hand's over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pendulum. It's what this chart over here to the right is. Back and forth.
He could not come in being saved for the compression action of cold. Nor could it repeat itself without losing itself in basic cold. Cold is static, unchanging, and unconditioned. That's the third law. Heat waves are dynamic, forever changing and dually conditioned. They are eternally living and dying to simulate life. Cold light is the omnipresent basis of universal intelligence and energy. Fourth law. Hot waves of light, which man calls matter, are a simulation of intelligence and energy. There is no intelligence or energy in matter. Static, cold, and dynamic heat expresses their opposite energies at angles of 90 degrees from their axis of rotation. Fifth law. Cold retains its static, motionless condition along the wave's axis where motion ceases at points of maximum heat, while heat extends along the equator to again expand as cold.
Heat and cold, right? When they did the tornadoes?
Yep.
You see this motion right here, what I was talking about earlier? The energy comes down, spiraling down, spirals up. Heat and the cold mix creates the storms, right? Heat.
Yeah.
And then when the cold air mixes, boom, causes a disturbance. You see it in the weather.
Balance interchanging complete the wave cycle. Fifth. Cold compresses, cold multiplies cold to create heat. Heat expands to divide heat into cold. Sixth law.
Keep in mind, if you don't believe this, then explain why they have 32 and 33 degree Masons. They know about cold.
because the parallels.
Right. But it's also the temperature before water freezes.
Oh, yeah. It sure is. 32.
It's that perfect temperature just before freezing water that it's neither frozen nor it's.
Yeah. Varied pressures of heat constitute the octave color spectrum cycles.
Right. When the sun's coming to you, it's in blue. When it's going away from you, it's in red. The waves coming in. So that's how you can test it when it more like as light comes to you or the sun, it's like that bright color, and as it's leaving, it gets a darker orange, or it starts going down to here. The light waves to get it as it comes, and then when it's on top of you, it's more in here. As it goes away, it comes down.
Electric sea of light.
When they say hydrogen oxide, hydrogen oxygen,
spiral,
nitrogen oxide, right?
Bromium, iodine. Very wavelengths are the basis of our mathematics. So mathematics is based off the wavelengths.
Right. So here's your equator.
See, it looks like
right here, and that's the path of the sun coming up to March, summer solstice, come back down to the equator again, September, then we come back to the winter solstice, come back up New Year's, and that's how the serpent, what the sun path. She's the straight and narrow is the staff right here, the straight line, the equator, so to speak, your spinal cord. Same thing, 0 point energy right here. Boom, 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 right here, straight and path. This again, this is the path. March, June, September, December, March, June. So 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12.
Long low waves are low potential and high frequency constitute the invisible spectrum of low density gases, while short high waves of high potential and low frequencies constitute the basis for high density solids. So that's the gases and solids.
And that, do they say where your third eye is? It's gaseous. That's why you go out. Go outside. You let the sun hit your forehead.
Right.
It opens it up.
Yes.
It heats it up, makes it start to move and function.
Activates it.
Gases. They're also talking about the universe as well. Inside us and the universe.
Yes.
This is all
the same.
Universal law of one. Gas or solid. That's what 32 and 33. Freezing or not freezing.
It is strange to think of the sound and silence in terms of compression and expansion, heat and cold, and other such cycles of opposite and interchanges of pulsations that they are. Light and sound live and die as all effects of wave motion.
Hold on.
What'd you do?
Sorry, I just want to. complicated too much.
Okay, it is strange to think of sound and silence in terms of compression and expansion, heat and cold, and other such cycles of opposites and interchange of pulsations, but they are just that.
Compression is expansion, and inhale, exhale.
Sound and silence. Light and sound live and die as all effective wave motions live and die. Even the sound of the most violent explosions spread out and gradually die, just as man and all transcendent life likewise do.
So this is the travel, all sacred spiral right here, right? And traveling through time, you go forward and back, but this is the path. The creating universe appears from the one. So it came from the one. All light comes from you measure light from the center out.
And it disappears into one.
But over time, it goes through all the spectrum, all the way through. And what does that say? And disappearing into the one.
So come into the one and go back into the one.
And it just keeps doing that. It does an 8. An infinity. Boom, boom, boom. All right, sorry. Negative and positive.
Thus, endeth the expression of God's omnipresence as evidenced by a photosynthetic wave of light controlled by gravity. God's soul workers in the creation of the curved universe of our Creator's imagining. Let your inner voice always remind you, I and my Father are one. One source light.
That was a good way to bring Walter Russell stuff in here. We can talk more about that later. Old Walter Russell. Positive, negative. Again, red, blue. Same thing. If I put colors to this to identify.
This is right there, electrical colors.
Yeah, I'd like. So the general form of an atom, including the spirals and spirally together with influx and efflux, ethers represented by dots. So you got ethers which pass through the spirally, the 2D and 3D spirally with their still finer ethers are not shown. Okay. I'll hold the picture up. It says Edwin D. Babbitt didn't describe the heart as a pump. He called it a solar center, a radiant core, not mechanical, but magnetic. That's what we're saying. When you look at a magnet, you got the red side and the blue side, the negative and positive side. When you hold the U-shaped magnet, right?
Mm-hmm. In his 1878 Principle of Light and Color, he wrote that the heart's motion was spiral, not piston-like.
Like we showed.
Yes, he believed it turned not just physically, but energetically, drawing and sending in rhythm with forces beyond blood alone. To Babbitt, circulation was not pressure-driven, but guided by polar attraction. The heart, he said, received through its right side and gave through its left, matching the spiral moment as he observed in nature, in magnetism, and in light. He wrote that its motion mirrored the sun, steady, radiating central to every other function. His language was precise, not poetic. He described anatomy in fine detail, then layered it with observation. He didn't separate body from field. The heart was not an engine, it was a center of force.
There you go. Center of force in the spiral, right? What we just seen in the video. Created a vortex. You see positive, thermal, positive, and then you see negative right here, spiraling, electricity, spiral for frictional electricity. Electrical colors, it says extra spirals, thermal colors. So negative and positive, this everything's like that. Magnetism, magnetic, and that's why everything just pumps on its own because it's like a magnet. It's like that dot where you take that thing we just showed with the back and forth. Did that come from this video? Yeah, it just remains in motion. Boom, your heart beating automatically. Boom,
Yes.
boom, boom, because it's like that pendulum.
It's not a pump. It's a motion. It's a force.
It's a
why it
pendulum.
says
Don't.
Think with your heart, right?
Yeah. So that's what this was. Where is it? See the spiraling?
Yeah, right there.
See that? Same thing here. The spiraling. Heat, radiant energy, negative, positive. I just want to show that. There's a spiraling. Seeing it right here, the spiraling. The pendulum. See it? Yeah, there it is. That. That's what that is. That's how your heart beats too. Huh? Boom. Boom. All right. Anyways, I think that's good. That's pretty good little find there. Oh, you want to do this?
Wait, no, go up. The first page is past the link. You said, yeah.
So these are my big issues regarding vaccines.
Yeah, that was it. Right here. That's right up here. Yeah, that's where I was at.
Oh.
Go ahead. So identity repetitive mental codes. You may not be who you think you are. Who are you? Really, who are you? Are you the person you think you are? Are you the person everyone else thinks you are? The identity mental codes are what we believe to be true about ourselves. As the name states, these mental codes give us our identity. Identity mental codes may or may not be accurate, but you believe them to be real. For example, some people believe they are a certain way, but they aren't. As a matter of fact, everyone around him may see the person as quite different from what he thinks of himself. I remember talking to one lady who claimed she was fairly honest. She told me she hardly ever told lies and rarely took anything that didn't belong to her. I thought that to myself, you're either honest or not honest. There is no middle of the road when talking about honesty. If you are slightly dishonest, you are just dishonest. So identity mental correct our interaction with others as well as our surroundings. The strongest identity mental codes are based on what we value most. Our values determine where we place our priorities. As an example, a person may have a list of values, things valued as follows, like number 1, God, 2, family, 3, friends, 4, work, 5, health, 6, community, 7, cleanliness, and 8, money. Although the above individual will probably have good relationships, she will likely experience money problems. Her prioritization of values indicates this. The lower the value priority, the less emphasis and focus is on that area. And you could flip it as well.
Right.
That could be number 1. It can go cleanliness, and then number 3 could be community, and then it could be health, and it could be any.
So because it became a priority, it became a problem also.
So another example may be money. Number 1, money. Number 2, health. Number 3, self. 4, God. Number 5 would be family, 6, friends, and then 7 would be the last thing, work. Although this person may have better finances than the previous example, she may suffer in relationships. The prioritization of your values determines what you give your attention to first. In turn, this prioritization process is usually where a person will excel the most or least. An improper balance of values to what a person wants to achieve can confuse a person into trying to achieve a goal listed as low on the list of values Failure is likely the outcome if a person's values and goals conflict. To achieve any goal, the person must have their values aligned with the desired intentions. Since values pertain to identity mental codes, remember, they may or may not be accurate. Some people will say they place their highest value on spirituality, but their lives reflect differently. So reprogramming your identity mental codes with the bionevro technique, we can align your intention with your desired values. In other words, it gives you a more stable reality between who you are and what you want to be. Some common values people desire are caring, honesty, spirituality, family, money, hardworking, giving, loving, healthy, intelligence. Another aspect of the identity mental codes is that the person's weaknesses. Your weaknesses work in precisely the opposite way to a person's values. While you can gain strength, momentum, focus, etc., from positively aligning values, weakness drains and block an individual's potential. So weakness can drain and block an individual's potential. Identity mental codes about weakness may cause a person to self-sabotage himself to protect negative identities. If a person believes to be ignorant, he usually avoids the situations requiring him to learn. Since knowledge is essential for growth, this prevents this individual from growing into a bigger person. So some examples of identity mental codes, which are talking about weakness: victim, degrading, incompetent, self-centered, insecure, ignorance, dishonest, envy. How can you discover what values and weaknesses you identify with? Here is a fun exercise to help clarify your identity. Values and weaknesses. It is designed to answer the question, who are you? The more honest you are with this exercise, your results will be better. So you can make a list of your values at this time. What do you value most in your life? List from the most important to the least. What are my weaknesses? List from the most powerful to the weakness to the least. How do I want others to see me? What am I on the inside that no one knows about me on the outside? What am I willing to change to create my desired?
Going up, it is relentless.
My desired something. Like this one. Cut it off.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty good.
Beads that we put on these rings are a small amplifier. This spherical capacitor was used by Tesla in the production of
see the spiral on the copper?
His free energy devices and energy transmission systems. So we just adapted that to our purpose. What it does, it just gives the rings a little bit more horsepower.
You notice he's got a copper ring on or something like that on his hand as well. More horsepower. What was that? Oh, we're talking about this.
Yeah.
The rings.
Copper.
Oh. Anyways. I think that's all we got. A sheepdog. So if you can't or refuse to discern reality objectively as it is, then you can't discern what your behavior objectively represents. There is no objective standard of right versus wrong behavior. Whatever gets you to your goal is right for you. Whatever prevents you from getting there is wrong for you. Everyone makes up whatever is right or wrong based on their own perceptions, desires, likes, etc. Everyone has their own standards. We don't agree on what is right or wrong. There is no objective morality. Means have the freedom to do whatever I want based on my way of seeing things. In a conflict of competing desires, the winner is usually the physically strongest, but it individually, be it individually or collectively. Government is the current leader in the unjust force as a monopoly on violence. It's moral to do something at one location or time, but immoral at another location or time. Rulers, masters, get to make up rights and what is morally right or wrong. Those with power, lawmakers, are acting as gods. In one area, disagree with those power in another area, inventing inconsistent and contradictory rules. Moral relativism of believing rights and morally come from humans means you believe morality can mean whatever anyone wants, which is a contradiction and violation of the law of non-contradiction, making it a belief in something that is unreal. The goal of true freedom requires moral education, and our reader is tasked to be undertaken as moral responsibility and duty by all who at least care enough about themselves to want to be truly free by living morally. Individuals who must awaken their care for truth, especially moral truth with true care, to the point where they become activated in teaching morality. When the majority deeply understand objectively morality and live it, uniting to maintain true justice against injustice, then we will live in a moral society and truly be free. Discovering objective morality requires reason, rationality to understand. Inventing subjective morality is rationalization, not true reasoning about the objective reality and what is true, correct, and right as rules of conduct and reality. We are bound to moral rules of conduct because we can reason their existence, which are derived from natural rights, which is what makes them right, correct, and true behaviors to engage in. Upholding rights makes you right, correct, true, and moral. Violating rights makes you wrong, incorrect, false, and immoral. Good to go, man.
Pi and Nikola Tesla's 369 theory are all connected. This video might blow your mind. So I started looking at pi, and you're basically just measuring a circle. I just stared at this image for a few minutes, and then the Bible verse popped into my head about looking over the circle of the earth. The more I looked at what pi actually is, I found out that you can't really create a dome or an arch in architecture without using pi. So then I started to think, are they measuring the firmament with pi? And then for some reason I kept thinking of Nikola Tesla's 369. So in Kings 7:23, it says, "Then he made the sea," I think this is the waters above, "of cast metal. It was round 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high, and a line of 30 cubits measured in circumference." So I started plugging numbers into pi to see if these work. Stick with me, this is all going to pull together and it's crazy. I had ChatGPT run the math on 3.33 repeating instead of the 3.14 number. For a circle with a radius of 10 units, when you replace pi with 3.33, it converts to 66.6. So the biblical value of pi as derived from 1 Kings 7:23 and 2 Chronicles 4:2 appears to be an approximation of 3, but some interpretations suggest it might imply a slightly more precise value, such as 3.3 repeating. So it says the verse doesn't account for the basin's thickness if the measurement of 10 cubits refers to the outer diameter and the circumference of 30 cubits refers to the inner circumference. The true ratio would increase slightly. And here it just breaks down the math. Keep in mind, this is the quantum computing model, and look at what they call the particles. Qubits, just like in the Bible. And we can energy harvest with piezoelectric, pi. And the hemisphere would come out to 999. Keep in mind that this is what a hemisphere actually is. So then I asked it to create an image of a geodesic dome over a flat earth model utilizing 3.33 repeating as pi. Guys, my mind is shook. It has the sacred hexagons, and hexagons are the most powerful energy producers. And it even put in a hexagon grid completely on its own. And it looks like it took an ancient astrology map and applied it to the bottom. It looks just like this, and this perfectly explains why Polaris is in the middle and the rest of the stars rotate and how we get our astrology. Not to mention that this looks exactly like this, and this looks exactly like this. And this is an image that ChatGPT created when I asked it to make a 369-degree circle. How weird is it that it even has the circles on the outsides just like this one does? So then I asked, how might 3, 6, and 9 be relevant in this model? And it says 3 as the central point from which all else radiates. 6 could represent intermediate points or radial lines dividing the Earth into sections similar to a hexagonal layout. 9 could symbolize the outer edge or boundary often associated with the ice wall, making the completion of the structure, which made me think of the black hole sun model that states that all of creation comes from the North Star and the black hole sun, like meeting at the North Pole and then projecting all of reality outwards. So on this model, I think the North Pole would be 3, the ice wall would be 9 because that's completion, and then where we live is 6, where creation and completion meet halfway in the middle. 3, 6, 9. So a lot of us know about the ley lines. Ley lines are basically just energy grid lines that people theorize connect us to free energy. Almost all important structures like the Statue of Liberty, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the pyramids, they all fall on like vertices of the ley lines. I think that the energy coming out of the black hole sun is meeting at the vertices on the 369 geodesic dome. I sound nuts, but whatever. And I think that this is somehow creating the ley lines. Remember, Tesla's whole thing was free energy and harnessing electric. I truly do believe that this is the great mystery around 369 and that it's really just the firmament, and that the pi they give us is not true pi. So then I started talking to ChatGPT about it again. It says, some flat earth theories propose that the firmament has properties that refract or distort light. If the firmament were a geodesic dome centered on the North Pole, the highest point of the dome could potentially create unique effects on the light and visibility. At the North Pole, light might behave differently as it interacts with this apex, possibly creating phenomena like the aurora borealis or other atmospheric effects in this region. This could be explained by theories that suggest the dome has refractive or reflective properties that affect how we perceive light and celestial objects. In this model, the geodesic dome might influence air currents and weather patterns, particularly if the dome is seen as a barrier containing Earth's atmosphere. With the North Pole as the dome's center, circular or spiraling weather patterns might radiate outward, contributing to the concept of the polar vortex or other weather phenomena that start from the poles and move outward. This also validates climate zones, and this scripture blew my mind when I realized this. So this is when he comes back for his bride. It says, the voice of my beloved, behold, he comes leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. There he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, looking through the lattice. Do you guys know what it's called when you weave pie crust together on top like this? A lattice. Pi. It's measuring the firmament. This is a lattice. This is a lattice. They're both pi, except one's a pastry. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's coincidental. I don't think it is. I think God is like hilarious. The first person to accurately estimate pi was literally named Archimedes. Arc. They're telling us, I don't believe most of these people in history were real. And if they were, there was like fakes.
Well, Arc is the 369. That's why his name is Archimedes. The Arc.
Right.
Stuff about them. And think of the word piety. It means religious or holy. Pi. They're saying that the person operates in a way of like being beyond the firmament. Like they're godly. They're complete. Fibonacci spiral. SPI. Spiral. Pi is in there. Piano starts with pi. The piano has 88.
Mississippi. Pi. Miss Isis Pie. Mississippi. Miss Isis's pie. Boy, I want some of Isis's pie. Boy, I heard that's some good old American pie.
Keys. There were 88 books in the original Bible. There's 88 constellations divided into 7 octaves. 7 is God's number, and cycles of 12 keys. In the book of Enoch, there's 12 stargates that the sun and moon come and go from.
They say 7 octaves, 7 chakras. Same thing.
Same thing.
We're talking about hot, cold, negative. We're talking about electricity and light, magnetism.
As above, so below.
When the sun rises, they're at purple. When it falls, it's at red.
In and out.
Right. When the
Above,
as above, so below.
And out. So
yes.
The same as the universe.
Right.
Within.
Everything. All this is connected.
It's all connected.
Inside of us and outside of us. Even into the universe. Even into nature and the flowers. The spiral. The Fibonacci, the spiral, the sacred spiral that we're talking about with the energy. Your flowers do it. Plants. The Mother Nature does it. Shows it.
Yes.
Pine cone. The occult worships the pine cone.
Pineal. It's the pine cone. It's right here.
The pine cone has.
When you sit under the
pine
trees and they had their meetings because the power energy came down through the branches.
It's like an antenna.
Yes, yeah. They could see the energy in the trees. They seen
That's
things
why they
differently.
Tell you to
hug a tree.
Or put your back up against it.
That's why they planted those sacred pines.
It gives you energy, but it also gives you knowledge.
And then the eagle lands. The eagle has landed, was stolen by NASA. It really means when your third eye opens.
Yes.
When the eagle lands on the tree, you can see everything.
Eagle-eyed view, right? Bird view.
There were 88 books in the original Bible.
88. 88, silver and gold.
That's
Sun and moon.
88 keys, 88. Yeah.
12 churches, 12 disciples, 12 hours in a day, 12 Horus. Hours is Horus. 7 churches.
88 constellations divided into 7 octaves. 7 is God's number and cycles of 12 keys. In the book of Enoch, there's 12 stargates that the sun and moon come and go from. Pine cone.
12 times 12 is what? 144, 144,000.
The occult worships the pine cone. The pine cone has 369 in it. Pilot. They are
Did you just hear that? 369 is
flying across the skies next to the firmament. Epiphany, there's PI in there. That's the revelation of Christ. Pineal gland, which is shaped like a pine cone. It has 369 built into it. Pioneer, pioneer, creating something. You're pioneering it. Let me know what you guys think, or if you have anything to add to this. I would love to hear it because I'm so interested in this topic and I'm like mind blown at the images that it created and like the pieces I was able to connect. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm completely crazy. Don't listen to a word I say.
So you see that thing?
She's crazy, but
right there. That's what they have in
Epcot.
Epcot.
That's your Epcot.
They're
Disney showing you.
Yeah.
Truman Show shows you. Remember, he comes out, breaks it at the end.
Yeah.
See all the different triangles.
He walks through one of the doors like a
So 369 does it.
Right, like a Stargate.
So here it is, 369 circles back, boom. Remember, it's showing you the path where it comes from the one light right here. Right here. It's the straight and narrow, 33-degree parallel. Vertebrae, your spinal cord, equinox, whatever you want to do. Summer solstice, winter solstice, summer solstice, winter solstice, right? Red, blue. It just does that pendulum, that infinity loop. Boom, boom. It arcs right here. Left brain, right brain, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sun and the moon, et cetera, et cetera. All right, we're good. That's all, folks. Hope everybody enjoyed that. About a little bit tonight. Hope everybody has a good weekend.
Good weekend.
Tomorrow, 7-Eleven.
Focus on positive things. Work on something that you've been putting off. Start a new project. Keep your mind busy because the show's just getting worse, right?
Well, you can direct your own movie. You don't have to watch theirs.
That's right.
You see where that movie's going, right?
Yeah.
You see the writing on the wall yet, guys? All right. Thank you for the prayers. Keep your mic in your prayers. Keep yourself in your prayers. Keep each other in your prayers. You're going to have to call on your ancestors. Tell them, come on, we need some help.
That's right.
Call out to the Creator. Don't be calling out to these politicians.
No.
That's all we got. Y'all have a good one.
Good night, everyone. Love y'all.
So we're going to play this for Mike.
Earth to God, come in, God. I know you're there, hearing our prayers wherever you are. We need you now to send your love down. Take away the pain in your holy name. We ask this now. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. And save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God. We're holding on, but not for long. Can you pull us all close to the Holy Ghost and keep us strong? We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. And save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God. Come in, God.